And I'm not gonna lie, out of all anime that's out, I feel like One Piece is definitely top fives for worst verse to live in, bro. Like being an ordinary person in this world is awful because you're never under good hands, like at all. Like unless like magically like Shanks pulled up and said, "But the One Piece world is massive. It's like 11 times the size of Earth." They're gonna explain to us perfectly why this shit is a nightmare to live in.
Perspective on the One Piece world is very skewed. We're following all the most powerful, most special people with destiny on their side. So from our perspective, the One Piece world is beautiful, magical.
It is
the beautiful
from
nature,
our
the different diverse islands, and the larger than life figures that exist in the world. We get so wrapped up in the lives of these special people that we kind of forget that for the average citizen, the One Piece world kind of sucks. And that's something I didn't even notice until I watched the fan letter special. Because in the main story, even when we meet quote unquote regular people, it's like the mayor from Orangetown, Kokoro or something. Like, are these really normal people? I mean, look at them. But the fan letter is the first time we focused on actual normal people. Like their hair actually follows the laws of physics and shit. They clock into work every day, do their job, go home. They're just like us. Except sometimes you go to work and the Navy officer made of pure light is fighting a pirate made out of rubber, but then they get interrupted by the warlord who's been turned into a cyborg who also has paws on his hand that can teleport people to anywhere in the world. You know, just
literally
Wednesdays. So
literally that has to be awful. Like people genuinely have jobs and are trying to make a living in the world of One Piece, bro. And then out of nowhere, like a massive robot just falls from the sky, and a massive elephant is on its way to fight a bear that turns into a beast when the moon, like that shit is awful. That shit is awful to live. I feel like this ALT, Demon Slayer, the Naruto world during Shippuden, it must have been hell to live in this world, like in these worlds, by far.
I think the life of your average One Piece citizen is pretty hard. The first thing we need to remember is we see all this crazy technology and all these fancy things.
Shout out my boy Vegapunk, bro.
And microwaves that can make food out of thin air. The average One Piece citizen doesn't have access to none of this shit. There's a reason why prior to certain revelations, most people thought that the One Piece world was set in some distant past. Because your average One Piece village is living like it's the 1700s. Like the type era where you scrape your hand on a rusty nail, you might as well start planning your funeral. And this is what I mean when I say our perspective is skewed because of who we follow. Kuma can heal from this, but Usopp's mom gets the flu or something and she's done. They don't even got Robitussin, Tylenol,
they got nothing for her.
They damn sure don't got no vaccines because who's passing them out? Big News Morgans? I assume most One Piece citizens live in one of two ways. Either you're a peaceful farmer who just chills, maybe you got your kids, a couple cows.
They are all living in the 1600s. Like all the civilians in the One Piece world.
Then you're hoed. We all remember how up the Great Terminal was. Little ass kids getting extorted by pirates. It was cool because it's Luffy, Ace, and Sabo, but imagine this happening to regular kids that aren't freaks of nature. And there's nothing you can do. There's
not
the
a damn
world
thing.
Government, but
it's awful.
Island to island, people can essentially just do whatever they want. There was no Great Terminal police force. Clearly there's not, because they're letting 8-year-olds run around robbing people. Then they got mountain bandits living over here and pirates living over here. This would be bad enough in a regular world. But in the One Piece world, there are random superpowered pirates that could sail onto your island at any time and just take that bitch over. Like, imagine that. How could you?
Dog, I was thinking about that because I'm like, I know Big Mom made Whole Cake Island, but there's people who probably want to go live on Whole Cake Island because, unlimited access to food and whatnot, and just like it looks good to live there, but then you figure out that you're forced to give away your soul to Big Mom in order for you to stay here. Like, that's the tax, is your life. It's crazy. Like, that's crazy to me. That, and what else? Kaido, like on Wano, like you're first of all, pirates, you're secluded from the world. Pirates are not even supposed to be on your island, point blank, period. Right? Out of nowhere, your dude died who was helping y'all. The dude died to this pirate, and ever since then he's been taking over, poisoned y'all water, gave y'all poisonous food to eat. Y'all, it's a corrupt government, weapons factory down the street, pollution in the air, and then years go by, you praying, hoping that you get saved, but your version of getting saved is a giant island floating above your country about to fall. On some Avengers level type shit, on some Ultron shit. Like, that's crazy. And you're supposed to be like, people barely know about you guys. Like, y'all are not in ties with the government. Bro, you think you're going there for a retreat and you're dying. Simple.
You ever live peacefully? Matter of fact, we don't even have to imagine it. Kokoyashi Village, chill ass town. People was there living normal lives. They was pretty broke. Again, don't let none of y'all scrape your hand on a rusty nail. But they were living all right. They was happy. But because one stupid fat ass fishman wanted to let his brother roam the streets unchecked, now I gotta pay taxes to pirates. How insane is that? At any point, a pirate could just pull up on your island and start his own little mini government, and nobody's gonna come and try to stop him. Well, actually, sometimes, every once in a while, people are gonna come and try to help, but those people are fucking useless. Think about the grand scheme of how strong people can get in One Piece. The Arlong pirates aren't even top 1,000. Maybe not even top 5,000. And you telling me none of the Marines that pulled up could beat them? We got Nezumi, he ain't even try. He straight copping please. Red ass nigga. But even the Marines that pull up and they trying to help, they weak as hell. This random Commodore pulls up. I don't even remember his name, because why?
Who is that nigga, bro?
I just reread Arlong part. But that's how unimportant he is. That's how useless he was. Because not even Arlong. Arlong's underlings pull up and put this nigga in a blender. Literally. Started a whirlpool, sunk his whole ship. Whole time, the whole village is
who are those Marines supposed to be protecting? Like, who are they supposed to be protecting? Do they know? Like, I don't think we've seen one pirate who was that sorry where he lost to a basic Marine. Not one have we seen that. Like, they're literally fodder. But they have them posted up at these islands like they can do anything. Them niggas can't do shit. They can't, bro.
And Kokoyashi Village is one of the lucky ones, because they had a Luffy that pulled up and saved them. It took them like 10 years, but eventually they got saved, you know? All's well that ends well. Sorry, Belmare. Most places that get taken over by pirates, you just shit out of luck. If the Revolutionary Army or something don't pull up, it is what it is. Peachbeard would have been chilling, would have been having
dead ass. I was just thinking about him too. Cause that nigga's sorry
to live in the One Piece world is just all the civil wars. My God, regardless of what island you live on in One Piece,
niggas
like
always want to fight.
Chance you're gonna experience some kind of civil war at some point in your lifetime. Shit, even in the main story, like a third of One Piece arcs involve some kind of civil war.
It's because like each place has their own laws. Like, they don't follow the laws of the world government. Like, the world government don't be checking them like that. Like, they have their own laws that they follow in their own small island. That's why they're so like behind on time, because the One Piece world is so big. They don't have the resources to go out. No devil fruit spawn on their island. You really have to be lucky where you're born at, or like who your ancestors are. Really, that's the only way to survive in the One Piece world, because it's not any other way.
But it's not really the Revolutionary Army's fault, because these civil wars don't happen because of them. They just join in. What's really the problem is those kings. We've had a lot of
bro, this shit is crazy. King Taco.
Gotta be racist.
We've had a lot of messed up kings
Abraham Lincoln,
but One Piece kings are on a whole different level. Like, you couldn't create this kind of evil in a lab. King Bokori is a great recent example. He is the perfect embodiment of an evil king in One Piece. He started out enslaving his own citizens, which is bad enough, but then he realized there's a bunch of old people in this kingdom. Old people can't work, they can't pay taxes. They better off dead. Just burn them down in their homes.
This is awful. It's awful. And the craziest thing about that is that he's not even the strongest person in the world for him to be acting like that. For him to be acting like he's not the strongest person, but like, the world's so big. Like, what are the chances of you encountering Luffy or like, I don't know, Gaimon?
Don't care as long as they get their heavenly tribute. The world government turning a blind eye, just letting it happen. Just make sure that money here on the first. But sometimes in the One Piece world, your king isn't even evil. He's just incompetent, like Cobra. There's a lot of dumb characters in One Piece, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot. It would actually probably be quicker to list all the smart characters in One Piece as opposed to all the dumb characters. That list is rolling down to the floor, out the window, down the street. It's a long list. But Cobra might just be the dumbest. You let this warlord come stay in your country, he's gonna scare off all the other pirates or whatever. Cool. Why are you not monitoring him? Why are you just trusting him? You let him start a whole casino. Do you know what people do in casinos? Because I'm telling you, casinos are not well known for keeping it above board.
Not at all. I want to build that casino in Minecraft IQ. No bullshit.
Sand powers into my desert country, and then the rain stops. I wonder why that happened.
Are you stupid, Cobra? He gets so comfortable, he starts up his own criminal organization right at home. And it's not like it was undetectable, because Vivi figured it out, and she tried to tell you, but instead of hearing her out, you just called her crazy.
Vivi, Crocodile would never do that. I know he's a career criminal, he's been committing crimes his whole life, but nah.
Use your common sense.
I'm gonna be honest, I think after the whole Alabasta incident, Cobra should have been overthrown, because no competent king would let that happen in his country. It's one thing to get forcibly taken over.
They make us like him, but he's not a good king.
Nice and cozy. Cobra might be in my top 10 most hated One Piece characters. That man is He's a piece of work, or he was a piece of work. The thing about One Piece
Nigga
is the
got
further
played.
you explore and the more you get into the Grand Line, the less and less it makes sense that regular people can even survive out here. Like when you're in
That
the
is
East
true.
Blue or the West Blue, it's believable. Things are more or less normal. The weather's normal. You got the occasional sea monster that pops out and eats your boat. You know, normal stuff. But once you get into the Grand Line, I don't know how people just live out there and act like everything's cool, everything's chill. First of all, the weather, it just doesn't make sense. You just gotta pray for good RNG. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm not living on no winter island. Imagine you wash up on an island, it's freezing cold. It's not even winter. This island is like this 24/7. You didn't pack no winter clothes. You're
over.
Since you didn't pack any winter clothes, you get sick. Oh yeah, there's one doctor in the whole country and she lives up on that mountain. But to get up there, you gotta get past the giant bunny bear creature. Just kill me now. That's another fucked up thing about the One Piece world. The wildlife is crazy.
That shit makes no sense.
You go to one island, you getting chased around by dinosaurs. You go to another island, you getting chased around by mountain-sized gorillas. Like, what am I supposed to do when the giant hog crushes my house? Does my insurance cover that? Do they even have insurance? But the worst,
like, you can't do anything. I'm surprised that there's people who just I feel like that's the reason why the further we go into the One Piece story, the more slaves that we see, because it gets to a point where like niggas can't even survive anymore, bro. They can't live. And as of recent, we've seen so many slaves show up in the One Piece story. From the Kuma backstory, from the Boa Hancock backstory, all of it.
Part about living in the Grand Line is you can't go anywhere. In real life, if you live in a bad area, you can save your money up and eventually you can afford to move out, right? In the One Piece world, if you don't have a log post to exactly where you want to go to, you're not going anywhere unless you want to end up like Brook, and you're not going to have the revive fruit. You're not coming back. So when your island gets taken over by pirates, oh well, I guess you just got to thug it out. But what if you decide to join the pirates? You know, you can't beat them, join them. Well, unless you have some latent combat ability none of us know about, or you know how to read the poneglyphs miraculously, it's probably going to be even worse for you. Because that means you're going to be one of the expendable foot soldiers in the crew, and those people suffer a fate worse.
I'm thinking about that. Being like Brook, bro, imagine the people who were living on that Thriller Bark Island, like who had a home there. And it was just eternal night, 24/7 nighttime. And their shadows were being taken. All of their shadows were gone. Like that's crazy. Like they're literally living. It's like if Dracula was to just take over your city and then close it off and nobody can find you. Like you can't just die. I don't know. That shit's wild though.
Yeah, well,
that's an island I would definitely not want to live on. That one, niggas live on Punk Hazard. People what other countries people live on? That's like crazy. Wano's not that crazy. I think this one of the safest places to live was probably Sabaody Archipelago, except for the once an occasional every like couple years where people just end up dying because you know everyone decides to pull up to Sabaody. Or I feel like that's like the Washington, that's like the New York City of the One Piece world. It's like the New York City. Every once in a while something crazy happens where you can't really take control of it.
They died too. First of all, the chances that you get sacrificed by your own captain are very high. If you're not part of the inner circle, they do not care what happens to you. Bellamy gave everything to be part of Doflamingo's family. You see how Doflamingo did him? And chances are you're gonna be even more useless than Bellamy. So what do you think they're gonna do to you? And that's on the milder end. Don't be in Big Mom's crew. She'll eat your ass, and not in the good way. I don't know whose crew is worse to be in, Big Mom's or Kaido's. Because again, Big Mom, she'll eat you. Let's not forget that. She's not even gonna chew or anything, just swallow you whole. But Kaido though, one day he just in a bad mood, he get drunk, he pop out and blast breath your whole platoon, wiped all of you out. Kaido's crew is probably the worst just because of the whole might makes right ideology. There's no ethics or logic to anything at all. It's you do whatever the captain says to do, and if you don't, you're catching accountable to the face. Especially if they start trying to get you to eat a smile fruit, man. Hell no. Smile fruits might just be one of the most evil things in anime history.
It's
if you
so
eat a smile
bad.
fruit and it goes poorly, you're stuck laughing for the rest of your life. That's horrible. But even if it goes well, you're stuck with a bullshit ass power like having a lion coming out of your torso. Who wants that? Who in their right mind wants that power? Or you got like a gorilla for an arm. Not a gorilla arm. A whole gorilla popping out of your arm. Like, this is my reward, huh? I'm loyal to the Beast Pirates and now I'm a freak for the rest of my life. But hey man, Batman, you was fighting with Luffy for a little bit. I might want that power. As a regular pirate in One Piece, you are cannon fodder. And I mean that
That
literally.
is true.
You're probably gonna die from a cannonball to the face. Well, if you're lucky, you'll just be one of the guys that gets knocked out by Luffy's Conqueror's Haki or something. Imagine you.
I would just retire after that.
You got to go take out the Straw Hat Pirate.
Wasn't built for
You didn't
this.
even get to swing your sword one time, just got Control Alt deleted. But by far, the worst part of living in the One Piece world, it's the world government. You already know it. How could you live knowing that at any point?
Oh yeah, and I feel like Fishman Island is a good place to live too, because I feel like people don't really, the government don't like going over there, and Luffy already liberated it. So I feel like right now it's probably safest place to live.
A random celestial dragon could come to your house, say, hey, your kids, they're coming with me. Wait, what do you mean they're coming with you? Those are my kids. Light your ass
Facts.
up. That's the craziest part is they don't even keep that shit a secret. Most governments would at least have the courtesy to not broadcast that shit to the whole world.
Right, they be
Celestial
showcasing
dragons
it, bro.
want you to know we can take you at any time and there's nothing anybody can do about it. And not even just taking slaves. They could just walk on your island and start killing people for nothing. Remember Sabo? That celestial dragon got invited to the island as a guest. They rolled out the red carpet for him. First thing he did when he pulled up, blows up a little kid's boat. No reason.
Crazy.
He literally had no reason to do it. Just being a dickhead for the love of the game. But that's not even the worst part. At any point, the government can decide your island doesn't deserve to exist, and then it just doesn't
wipe it
exist.
out.
Especially if you're a nation that's not affiliated with the world government. Green Bull gave that speech, and he was not joking. That's dead ass how it works. Green Bull could have walked onto Wano, started lopping off head. Nothing would have happened to him. He would have got zero punishment. But even if you are affiliated with the world government, if somebody high up enough decides you don't need to be around anymore, then shit, say goodbye. But Lucy is probably still the scariest thing that ever happened in One Piece ever. And the worst part is, nobody's
Facts.
even
Bro, if y'all know, if y'all are caught up, if you know what happened to the Lelucia Kingdom, right? Look at his fit. This is a regular nigga, bro. This is a regular dude. Cobblestone pass. He got potholes in the ground. Nigga, he look up. He's looking at the clouds. The sky is opening. A bright ass light comes from the sky. A freaking beam just destroys that whole entire country. You don't have a second to think. And you don't have a choice. You're just dying.
And we might never know how many people they've done this to before. I guarantee you Lelucia wasn't the first one. God Valley wasn't the first one either. All I know is if I get isekai'd anywhere, it better not be the One Piece world. But yeah, man, that's all I got for y'all boys today. Let me know what you think life would be like in the One Piece world in the comments below. And comment fodder if you made it to the end. Just confuse all the niggas that didn't make it here. Like the video if you liked the video. Subscribe.
Tight shit. Tight shit. You know what? I will comment.